Welcome back to the Everything Goes Podcast with your host, TAK. A weekly podcast with the latest sports news, the hottest of the hot takes, and the best predictions you can get. Now, Chris, Ace, take it away.
All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Everything Goes Podcast, episode 196. And yes, if you are watching on YouTube, Michigan has done it. The fairy tale ended despite this chaotic season, despite everyone saying that he's guilty. We did it. Penn State, Ohio State, Alabama, Washington. Was it 14 or 15? 15-0, baby. We won the Natty, and it feels amazing. Finally being a fan, being able to watch it. Almost fell asleep a couple times on the East Coast here because it was like nearly midnight. Gosh, I love it. I'm so pumped. Go Michigan. Hey, we're going to talk about the best landing spots for Jim Harbaugh if he does decide to leave Michigan, which I hope he doesn't. We're going to talk about the new coach firings that have begun, who is next, what GMs are going to be on the move. A lot of people drawing interest for head coach. It's going to be a very interesting offseason, especially with free agents. And we will give you our wild card predictions and our Saints and Vikings recap of the season since we didn't make the playoffs. Not Michigan. Dallas did, though. But guys, welcome back. Episode 196 on this lovely Tuesday night here on the East Coast. I don't know about you guys, but how y'all doing?
Great day to be alive.
Great day to be alive.
Florida apparently is under some tornado warnings, Ty.
So here's how, honestly, Florida weather has not been great lately. It's still warm and stuff, but like it has not been sunny a lot. It's been very cloudy the past month and a half. Like it's been very gloomy, let a little bit of rain. The tornado touched down 2 days ago, I think, about 20 minutes from where I'm at right now. Insane video. I would let's be honest. The tornado touches down anywhere near me, I'm recording it. I'm going to be that guy that records it. I hope nobody gets hurt. But I will be there until the last very second. Just sit there like, you guys see this right now? You guys see that? That boat is in the air right now. That boat is in the air. That one boat did. The tornado, what's crazy about that video, I'll have to send it to you, Ace, is it comes down, goes up for a couple seconds. Like, it's not like a very long thing. It comes down, it gets bigger, it goes back up, and then it comes down, hits the intercoastal, which is like the water between the ocean and the land, and just gets massive. It was insane to watch. It was insane to watch. It was pretty cool. It was pretty epic, I'll be honest. I hope nobody got hurt. As I'm saying, it's epic.
Yeah, I hate when no one calls me all day long. We're doing a podcast now. I've already gotten 3 phone calls.
Oh yeah, just curious, putting them on blast. Who called you?
Yeah,
no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
By the way, no basements in Florida homes. Who was it? Can we get a sample, Chris?
Ace, what did you say?
Oh, I'm saying there's no basements in Florida. Also,
no, there's not. That's weird. I used to love like having a basement, decking it out as like either your man cave or like we always had it as a family room. It's very fun and groovy.
Dude, that's when you get in your car and you drive as fast as you can to get away from it.
Dude, yeah. Ace, I'll be honest. I'm going right towards it. Before we start this podcast, Ace, when you ran down your steps, I literally laughed so hard. I was like, I've never seen Ace run in my life, and that was amazing. Your feet moved so fast going down those steps. It's like when you're a little kid and you turn off all the lights and you run up the stairs as fast as you can. That's what Ace looked like.
God, yeah. Oh man, that's funny. I forgot. Yeah, based off the angle, you can pretty much see. Yeah, the steps. That makes sense.
Y'all have a good weekend. It's Tuesday, 18 days away from my wedding. I'm excited. But how are you guys doing? Ace nearly had a terrible bathroom situation. We won't talk about it. But you guys doing good?
I was doing good until I saw that video the other day of that plane freaking window just flying out of that plane at 16,000 feet, knowing I have to get on a plane in 2 weeks to come see you.
Did anybody get injured?
No, but they had a freaking whole side of the plane just blew out.
How does that even happen? I actually just saw a video where some birds hit the engine of a plane and like this guy has his camera out and like it almost looks like someone's bombing the sky every 5 seconds because the engine started to like
God.
Like, could you imagine that?
Dude, I hate flying.
Yeah, that does make you nervous.
That does make me nervous, man. Flying is like an exciting thing, but it's very scary. Because
like we're looking at trips to Scotland, and the first thing I saw was how long is the flight, and it's like almost 13 hours. And
you better knock me out with some medicine, man.
Man, I don't know how we're doing this one.
Fly to New York and then over, maybe. I don't know.
Ace,
it's not a direct flight. I know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, Ace, you like flying? You know what's funny is I don't like flying, but I'll skydive.
Ooh, I've done skydiving once. I don't mind flying, but yeah, I'm kind of like uptight until we're actually there and on. And then once I'm on the plane, I can pass out, sleep,
Once I get
whatever.
up, like after that first, I would say 5 minutes of takeoff, I'm good. That first 5 minutes
Yep.
takeoff is where I feel it's like the gray area where something could happen. It's gonna happen right now.
3 minutes, first 3 minutes. So when you take off, start your watch. 3 minutes,
Oh, no.
and you're good until the landing.
Is that a proven fact?
That's a proven fact.
Mm,
Most dangerous part of a flight is the first 3 minutes.
dang.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know next time. That's good to know.
It
My
doesn't
next
matter.
flight-
I'm asleep. Mom medicates me so good. I'm asleep like Mr. T before that thing takes off.
Listen, I've flown from Colorado to Florida like what 4 times now, and that flight for some reason is very smooth always for me, even though the mountains are right there. Kind of shocked about that. All right, guys. Well, let's dive into it, baby. Let's dive into it. Dad, I know you got your merch on. I got my merch on. I just told Ace, I'm buying some Michigan merch. I mean, when is the next time Michigan is going to be in the championship? Who knows if Jim's going to be back? We have half of our offense and defense is seniors. We have to rebuild from the ground up. Are we going to use Orgy? What kind of last name? That's an interesting last name to even use as a quarterback position, but he's a muscular man. He's like a Taysom Hill out there.
Ace, I kept trying to message Ty last night and said orgies in, but it kept saying Oreo. It wouldn't put orgy. It kept spell correcting and saying Oreo. So I was like, orgies in. It was funny.
God.
It was funny.
Listen, they used him twice. We just
got a 5-star quarterback that committed to Michigan.
Yes, we did. I'm actually going to tell you I'm going to tell you his name right now. His name is Jaden Davis, 5-star.
Does he stay?
I don't know. I mean, here's another thing too. Does JJ stay? I mean, we haven't even talked about the game or anything yet, but does JJ stay? Blake Corum's gone. I don't know if Edwards is gone, but like, there's a lot of offensive linemen. Our defense,
29 seniors.
There's a lot of guys that are gone, right?
29 seniors.
Well, yeah. What did you guys think about the game then? I think
Gosh,
so. What
listen,
was it, 34-13 Michigan?
First quarter, as a Michigan fan, you're looking at this is as far as me personally, wave of emotions. First quarter, skyrocket confidence. Second and third quarter, ship goes straight down. You're like, what? Defense played great. Offense, like, so are we trying to win the Natty? I get it. Both teams are undefeated. So obviously the Huskies made some adjustments. But man, first quarter, just handing off the rock and seeing how well Michigan's run game was. I mean, Edwards, who hasn't scored since Penn State's game, which was like 4 games ago, a 41-yard run, a 46-yard run, second and third longest a run in college national championship history besides Derrick Henry's.
It's the first time we had two. It's the first time any team ever had 2 100-yard rushers in a game with 2 touchdowns. It's the first time, believe this or not, wow. It's the first time ever that a number 1 beat a number 2 in the CFP championship game.
Undefeated versus undefeated. And what's amazing too is like you watch those run plays that he broke off. He runs into a block wall and somehow skimmies out of it into an open gap. And after the second one, I was like, dude, there's no way this happened. And then Blake Corum after that he takes like a 40-yarder and almost takes it to the house. And offensively, Michigan looked good. Obviously, the second and third quarter, you could tell the Huskies made adjustments, and Michigan didn't really throw the ball. They really tried to continue to pound the run game, which I wish they would have, mixed it in there with the passing game. And then you have people. I like the people that are giving Michigan praise because you have those fans out there that are like, man, the Huskies are terrible. Like the Texas is watching this game and is like, why couldn't we play that team? But if you watch the game, man, people were like, did Alabama play bad or is Michigan's defense just that good?
Michigan's defense is that good.
You watch a game like this, Pittman, not Pittman, how do I say that quarterback's name?
Penix.
Penix. Yeah, I mean, he looked so uncomfortable. I mean, his gift is his accuracy, his amazing accuracy.
Michigan rushed 4 all night and got pressure on him.
Only 4 guys.
Yep.
Only 4 guys.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was going to say, oh, sorry, Chris. I think that was a different game plan than Bama, too, because I feel like they brought more pressure against Bama. But
yes,
I watched most of I didn't watch much of the game until the second half because I knew it was going to be a long one. And the fourth quarter, that poor right tackle for Washington just
back-to-back flags.
Well, yeah, and the flags, too.
The thing that Michigan played for is they have a great quarterback, Penix. They have 3 receivers that are NFL ready. So they took away the top. They made them have to dink and dunk and beat them, and they couldn't do it. But I got to tell you what, that was the most stressful game I've ever watched. It really was because Michigan kept running the ball when they couldn't, and then they had to throw. And J.J. McCarthy, I'm sorry, is not NFL ready at all. He's a one-look quarterback, and that's the problem.
I think that I agree and disagree because, like, they're calling a lot of run plays, and I think when you see JJ at his best is, I mean, crucial points of the games where he had to make a tight window throw, and he did. I mean, he looked good in some of those tight window throws. I don't. I'm curious to see if JJ comes back with how many quarterbacks are going in the draft this year. I
I
wonder
would.
if he stays. I mean, you look at the talent we're playing next year, right? Some of the Pac-12s coming in. We still have the Big Ten that a couple of them are ranked. Big schedule for him. I mean, if he goes out there and only loses one or two games, I mean, he's a top 5 I mean, they have him ranked as top 10 quarterback going to the draft. I don't know if you saw that, Dad, last night. They said he's top 10 ranked.
Well, the thing that concerns me is his record is flawed. They have him as 28-1. His only loss was the TCU. But the problem is you look at his stats overall. Michigan has been a defense first, run the ball down your throat. I mean, they ran the ball 32 times against Penn State. JJ to me doesn't look like the JJ that started the season. Where he was making those crisp throws. He was off last night. He was high.
But he can do it though.
But the thing is why did they wait to the third quarter to use his legs? Like, he is an RPO threat.
Yeah,
the guy can run, and they weren't doing it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
what a scout
or what.
I think what a scout will look at though is like, you just nailed the nail on the head right there. It's the play call. I mean, you see when JJ needs to throw, like, he'll miss one or two, but he throws great. He throws great on the run, especially. And he's got a killer arm.
You have Colston Loveland, who is one of the best tight
Great
ends in
tight
college
end.
football.
Made a great play.
They didn't use him at all to the end of the game. You have Roman Wilson, who was another one that just the last 3 games of the season, it's like they went away from throwing the ball down the field. If you can develop a throwing game and spread the defense out, you can run. Corum would have had 200 yards rushing last night, but they loaded the box last night on defense to take away that run. They played no safeties over the top. They gave us over the top all night. Michigan didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah. Listen, let's just give a round of applause for Michigan, man. I know.
It's great.
I mean, we're
1997 is the last time they won it.
You're frustrated during the game. Can we talk about how similar Jim and his dad look? Unreal. I mean, it literally looks like Jim is in the stands watching the game. I will say,
I love when they say who has it better than us, and the old man goes, nobody.
No, it was really awesome when you saw his brother come down too and hug him on the sidelines. I love it, man. And listen, the hot topic right now, number one, congrats to Michigan. Us Michigan fans are just cloud 9 right now. But what comes down to, and what's huge in the headlines right now, is does Jim come back? And you see rumors that say he's coming back. You see rumors saying that he has mutual interest in the NFL. So no one really knows besides him and his family. That's what it comes down to right now. I think
Michigan's going to offer him a lot of money.
I think, like, this is just my opinion, right? If I was Jim, why wouldn't you come back, right? Like, I've listened to a lot of interviews today where they're like, there is no better feeling than rallying a locker room around you, like 18-year-olds, and winning the Natty in that environment of a college atmosphere. Like, you'll get something close to it in the Super Bowl, right? But it's like, all right, you did everything you said you wanted to. You're a Michigan alum. You come back, you coach it, you get to the Natty, you win it. It's like, all right, now can you come back and do it again when you know that, would you say, Dad, 29 seniors are leaving? Can you come back and be a Nick Saban? Can you be a Kirby? Like, can you get back to it again? Because you can get there. That's great. That's applauded. But can you get back to it now?
I'll tell you, this is my opinion, and then Ace, you can give yours. I think, the NCAA came out and said they're still investigating Michigan for violating some recruitment violations. So Michigan gave him a 3-game suspension. They thought that was going to disappear. NCAA came out and said they're still investigating him. 2, he got his championship. Michigan already offered him $11 million a year, but he has to have a clause in there where he's not going to keep pulling this NFL card. He hasn't signed it. He just signed an agent, Bo Yee, who represents Sean Payton and Tom Brady. And if you look at their schedule, I mean, with all those kids leaving this year, they open up against Fresno State. They get Texas week 2, Arkansas State, USC, Minnesota, Washington, Illinois, Michigan State, Oregon. And then you work at Indiana, Northwestern, and then Ohio State. That's a tough schedule, man. I can see now with all these teams coming into the Big Ten, I don't see anybody going undefeated in the Big Ten.
Yeah, but you see that as a coach, why would that not fire you up to be like, all right, I'm coming back. This atmosphere, this team, we just won the Natty. The fans are gonna be 10 times louder, and I get to rebuild this team. I'm probably gonna need a new quarterback. Can I do it? I just think like if you've done both, I just think I would fall in love with the college atmosphere.
That I was gonna say that too, and it's like how much the money is damn near equal at this point too. It's
So
gotta be pretty
equal. And
close.
I'll tell you what, I'm a
Yeah.
diehard Saints fan and I'll watch more NFL than I will college. But as every year I kind of get deeper and deeper into it, I just think like even as a diehard NFL fan, like there is nothing, I say this on this podcast all the time, there's nothing like a college atmosphere. There just isn't.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, me personally, if I was Jim Harbaugh, I would want to coach kids. Kids give you 110% because they
Yeah.
want to get to the next step. The problem
Yep.
is you have transfer portal. You have all these people throwing
Yep,
money at these
obviously.
kids.
Yep.
You know, another thing too is he has to go on the road in a couple of weeks to start recruiting. Where you go to the NFL, you don't have to do that. But now the
Yeah.
downside of the NFL is you're working with guys that are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s
Don't
who are
wanna
making
listen to you.
millions of dollars that don't want to hear you. Look what happened in the Saints game where the coach told them to do something. They did what they wanted to do.
Oh, that was different. That was great.
I'm
I
so
loved
glad
every minute of that. We'll talk about that then. But also, did you hear how Jim kind of like slid in there like, yeah, well, like we got our spring games coming up soon. And so I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, if he leaves, I'm thankful for him as a coach. He brought us a championship. I would love nothing more than him to come back and see how he rebuilds this team. I love him as a coach.
There's only 3 teams I see him going to.
Well, let's talk
that
about
are,
it. We're
that are
gonna
playoff ready.
we're gonna slide into this right now. We'll make this transition.
Can I just say real
Make a
quick?
transaction. You can sell me whatever you want to sell me. We'll make a transaction.
What do you want to
So
say?
the
Ace?
average, I don't know how accurate. It's 2023, so fairly accurate. The average salary for head coach last year, or just in total,
In
was
the NFL or
6.6
college?
NFL was 6.6 million last
I bet you
year.
Kirby and
So,
Saban are getting more than that.
But
yeah.
there's only
Oh,
there's
yeah.
only there's only like 3 or 4 coaches in the NFL that are making double digits as far as more
Probably
than
Sean
10,
Payton
9
and
million. I mean,
Belichick, Peyton, yeah,
Belichick's making
there's-
20 million a year. There's only a few coaches that are making more than 9 million.
yeah. I just think it'd be more fun in football in college. Find that
But
high
the
school
thing is,
diamond stud.
Jim started out his career at Michigan. He had a horrible run. He was like, I forget what it was. His record was horrible. He was 0-3 or 0-4 against Ohio State. He's 40-3 in his last 3 years. He's got 3 playoff appearances. He's got a national championship. The thing is, do you want to stay there and build on that legacy and become another Nick Saban, where the school
Yeah,
probably
I
name the
would.
stadium after you?
I would.
Or do you want to say, screw it now? I want to go get an NFL title, because the last time I got to the NFL, I had a great team. I lost the Super Bowl to my brother. You know,
That's
that
the
family has a
thing that
legacy.
would
That
that's the thing
family has
that
a
would
legacy.
that's the thing that would suck though is like taking that leap of faith and stepping away from something you have that's so good. You know, because sometimes people think the grass is green on the other side. It's not. You know, we've seen this a lot. I'm not saying Jim's definitely different because he's been there. But, you know, what are the chances he goes to the NFL, has 2 mediocre seasons, and you know how owners are. They're quick with getting fired and stuff. It's like you left for no reason. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's gonna be a tough decision. It really is. I think he's using a lot of this as leverage too. I think Michigan's gonna have to come in high. I mean, right now they offered him 11 million. I think you're gonna look somewhere between the 13 to 15 million a year.
Listen, I think he's going to come back. And I just got a little message to all my Ohio State fans out there that I can't stand anymore. Who's got it better than us, baby? Nobody, man. Nobody, baby. All right. Bleacher Report came out. 5 teams they think that are the best landing spots for Jim if he does leave. I want you guys to think which one you think it is. I'll give you number 5. Number 5 is the Panthers, who only had about 2 wins this year. And I
would never go there.
they could have just beat the Bucks, man. You have the Panthers at 5. You have the Commanders at 4, who just got rid of Ron Rivera, who someone told me
Chargers gotta be number 1.
You have number 3 is the Raiders. Number 2 is the Falcons, which is an interesting one because you could draft your quarterback of the future. Number 1 is the Chargers.
I'm going to the Chargers.
Yep. Chargers or Falcons got to be up there. The Raiders seems odd. Well, I
Is
mean, maybe.
is Herbert re-signed?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. He's getting like 52 million a year. I'm taking, if I'm Jim and I'm going there, I'm taking my defensive coordinator along with me.
Oh, me too. I love that guy. I love that guy.
Either that or I'm picking up Wink Martindale, who's leaving the Giants.
If I'm Jim, I'm either going
That's
to the Commanders or the Chargers, I think. I think the Chargers for him, Chargers have a good defense every year. And I think what's great with Jim is the guy you look at, like you in the NFL, you see head coaches that are defensive coordinators, like defensive minded head coaches who just struggle for some reason. And I feel like Jim is the perfect example of how you could be a defensive minded head coach and you find your perfect offensive coordinator and you thrive together. And I think if he had that in the Chargers, maybe it'd even be Kellen Moore. Um, he brings that old school style of football. Run the ball
Yeah.
hard, you tackle hard. And if you watch the Michigan highlights, he infuses it in their brains that you're not lazy. If someone is making a tackle 10 yards away, you fly to that ball. Like when you watch Michigan make a tackle, there's usually at least 2 to 3 guys tackling with him.
Mm-hmm.
How bad do you feel for Eric Bieniemy if he doesn't get offered that freaking head coaching job?
Not bad because I feel like their offense didn't do that great this year.
Yeah, but you look at the quarterback they had. I mean, they don't have very good weapons.
Sam Howell is sure. Sam Howell is definitely not like a starting quarterback. Maybe he will be. I don't know. I can't predict that. But like, I mean, look at the weapons they had: Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson. I mean, you didn't have the worst.
They need to build up that offensive line.
Yeah, no, I for real. Like, I mean, like I said, we talked about this last week. Like, one more year or cut him. So you guys said one more year to Sam Howell. I mean, Sam Howell could be a guy. He's got a killer arm.
Dude, the Commanders just picked up 2 people. One of them was the GM for the Golden State Warriors that built all those championship teams.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the Falcons is like I would circle the Falcons too, just because you have great. We talked about this last week. You have great wide receiver help that's young. You have a tight end that you would bring back. The defense is still there. If you could just get that quarterback and the right coach in there.
And it's a dome.
It's a
bad division.
Yeah.
Commanders might be a better spot. The dome is.
That division did better than people thought, though. You had 2 teams that were fighting for a playoff spot, and everyone thought all of those teams were going to suck.
Mm-hmm. The problem with Arthur Blank, though, is he's got a quick trigger anymore. I mean,
he got fired. He got fired. Oh,
no, Arthur Smith got fired.
Yeah.
Was he calling play? Oh, sorry. Yeah,
he was. And he's a little crybaby. Okay, like you're on the 1 yard line and Jameis Winston sneaks in a handoff and you want to cry. You're already getting blown out.
I'm firing Jameis Winston today.
Dad,
the coach
in baseball, what did you preach to us? You keep your foot on the pedal.
Yeah, but we stopped scoring runs after a point. If we're blowing somebody out, the point is they told him go with the victory formation. Jameis said no. We're gonna get Jamal out of there.
All right, that is not the full story, by the way. Everyone is blaming Jameis, the offensive lineman, and Jimmy Graham.
Shannon Sharp said it right. He should be fired today. You disrespect your coach.
Oh my gosh!
Disrespect the authority in life.
Jimmy Graham.
Does he do that with a Sean Payton? Does he do that with?
No.
Yeah, so
listen. Jimmy Graham and the offensive lineman, they came up to Jameis and said, "We want Jamal Williams to score here because Jamal Williams had 17 touchdowns last year and he had a whopping 0 this year because we didn't use him." And and Jameis said, "All right, let's do it." He had it off. I loved every minute, and the commentator said it perfectly.
60 minutes to get a touchdown before that.
The commentator said it perfectly. There's no reason why Arthur should be crying. It's football. I could do whatever I want.
No, but seriously, how bad does that put that coach in a bad position like that?
I don't know.
It does. Then it just showed you right there. It just showed you right there. Dennis Allen has to be fired. He has no control.
No, listen. I would be mad at my team, obviously, because you didn't listen to me as a coach. I'd be mad. But also, I would have looked at that coach like, bro, we just blew you out. Go home and cry.
No, I would have been like, Jameis, this is why your career's over in the NFL. You're fired. You're gone.
And so last thing I'll say about like this in general, though, too, I was talking to a friend about the Commander's job. Don't you think because we knew halfway through the season Rivera wasn't going to be back.
No, when's the last? I mean, what was it? 4 seasons, and they haven't even had a 500 finish.
Don't you fire him early and see what Bieniemy has a shot? If you're actually,
I would.
I would have, yeah, but they didn't.
They just brought Eric Bieniemy in, and now what if they get a new GM and they come in, they clean house? Poor Eric Bieniemy's gone.
I mean, hey, he might get a job interview though. You never know.
Well, yeah, I can't feel sorry for
Saints
guys
might bring him in
$1 million plus to coach also. $1 million plus. So
well, let's dive into some NFL here. We're talking about Jim. And the firing cycle started today. This one shocked me the most was here in Pink Slip Monday. Mike Vrabel getting fired from the Titans shocked me a little bit. I guess the owner came out said there was no tension. It was just like the way we wanted to move forward. But Mike Vrabel, I wish I remembered the stat. I wanted to write down the moment, but since he's been there, they've been to 4 playoff games. They've had 4 great seasons, and I don't know. Like, I was just a little shocked by that. I mean, like, they had one
He
bad
knew it was
season with
coming.
him. He's a
He
good
knew it was
coach.
coming.
Listen, he's a
Yeah.
good coach, and he already has a lot of interest. Him and the Pats actually have mutual interests. So I'm
Well,
curious
he
to
knew
see
he
how
was
that
coming
works.
because he came out and said, "I want to go coach the New England Patriots." He already knew it
I-
was coming. Derrick
Yeah.
Henry's leaving. He's going to be a
Imagine he
Cowboy.
takes Derek with him.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
and
feel bad for Hopkins. Isn't Hopkins? Didn't he sign a
Dude,
multi-year deal?
no, I don't feel bad for Hopkins because we talked
Yeah.
on this podcast. Why the heck would you go to Tennessee? Tennessee has Ryan Tannehill, who's just dealing with
Yep.
an injury, and you knew Ryan Tannehill was going to be done there soon. They drafted a quarterback. They might be good. I don't know. Will Levis might be really good. He showed signs of promise. But of all the teams, and I get it, you want to get all the money you want to get. Of all the you could have went to Kansas City. You could have went to a lot of teams here to try and win a ring that you never got. And you went to Tennessee?
God, he could have helped freaking Kansas City so bad. I think
Oh my gosh, I
possession-wise,
know.
whatever.
I mean,
Catch the ball.
there might have been some decision making into that. Maybe he wanted to live there his whole life. Maybe he's from there. I don't know.
Dude, the problem with the NFL is these damn quarterbacks take up most of the salary, and that's the problem.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't build championship teams no more. You got to pick up someone else's trash in order to build up championship teams. The Cowboys got they got a shit ton of freaking free agents they're going to be in trouble next year.
You think if Dallas
Mhm.
doesn't make it to the Super Bowl this year, that they'll hit a rut after this with how many people might leave?
Let me tell you.
Ooh,
Don't
how many
listen to this.
playoff? Oh no, go ahead.
Listen to this.
Chris.
Tony Pollard, Stephon Gilmore, Dorrance Armstrong, Javon Curse, Jordan Lewis, Dante Fowler, Jonathan Hankins,
Those are
Chuma
big
Doba,
names. Those are
Neville
big
Gallimore,
names.
Rico Dowdle, Tyler Biadasz. You got to sign CeeDee Lamb. You got to sign Micah Parsons. And you got to negotiate with that because he's getting $60 million next year.
I'll
Cowboys
tell you
are
what,
screwed.
man. Cowboys is going to be an interesting place to be
Dude,
watching this
and we're
offseason.
negative $11 million in the salary cap.
Oh,
We're going to have both
man.
of our running backs are free agents.
You
We're
better
screwed.
hope
We're
you
screwed.
get a Super Bowl this year, because if you get a Super Bowl, it will help you cry the pain away next year if you go bad. You better hope, man. Tony Pollard, you said Lewis, your cornerback, Micah
Let me say
Parsons,
1, 2,
Stephon
3,
Gilmore.
4, 5.
What about Brandon Cooks? Is he free agent?
6.
Which
No.
playoff head
CeeDee
coaches?
Lamb.
Which playoff head coaches are on the hot seat? Is Mike McCarthy? I mean, I hate
No.
Mike McCarthy, I think, is in my opinion, 100%.
No,
you know why? I think
absolutely not. He's still
he-
under contract next year. No way.
if he
Why
goes
would you,
one-
why would you do that?
Because
I'm sorry,
with that team, if he goes 1 and out again, or if he does not make it to the NFC Championship game, I'm telling you, Jerry's going to fire him.
Look, he was on 105.3 The Fan today and said, no, Mike McCarthy has been doing a great job. If he loses the Green
Everyone's
Bay,
going to say that about their coach
he
until it comes
loses
time.
No, we kept Jason Garrett for freaking 20 years or whatever the hell it was. And he went 8-8 for half
That's
of them.
true.
My thing is if he loses the Green Bay, yeah, then I can see it. Me, honestly, I think this is our best shot. Number 2 seed, we got a clear path to the freaking championship. I see the Rams beating the Lions, and I can see the Rams beating the 49ers.
Mhm.
That's how good the Rams are. I honestly think that we're going to get to the NFC Championship game. But if we don't, who do you bring in that replaces him? You bring in freaking
Yep.
Belichick? Why?
There's a lot of options. I think Belichick's.
there's not. There's not a lot of
I don't
options.
think Belichick's going to go to another thing. I think Kraft is going to bring him in a meeting, and they're going to keep him in the building somehow.
You're gonna put Dak on his 4th offensive coordinator in 5 years if you freaking fire Mike McCarthy.
Ace, your question
Yeah.
about what playoff teams are on the hot seat. I'm looking at like the schedule, and there's not really a coach on here that I'm like, maybe Mike Tomlin, maybe Mike
Yeah.
Sirianni. How do you say his last name from the Eagles? Maybe him, just because of how bad they've been this past half. The only one I think I'd write down here, if I had to guess, Todd Bowles, maybe Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe. Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season his whole career. He's been there. I don't think they get rid of him. I think they have actually talked about extending him.
I think the only one that I can see going, and it's not because he's going to be fired, he's going to retire, Andy Reid.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting.
Because let's face it, they're guaranteed 1 home game. They're going to have to go to Rome. They don't have they have a good defense. They don't have the offensive weapons to make a big run.
Mm-hmm. Here's
No,
another.
they don't.
Is there someone on that list that you think is on the hot seat?
No, you said Tomlin, and whether he just might leave anyways because he's been there for almost 20 years now too.
Mm-hmm.
How can a coach be in a hot seat for making the playoffs? I just don't get it.
Well, because like number one, if
I don't
You,
like it. I hated asking the question because
if
it is
I'm an
very
it's a
owner,
good question. It's a good question.
if I'm an owner and I have had a coach for a while and we just can't get past a certain point, something's got to change eventually. It might not be the head coach, it might be an offense coordinator, it might be a defense coordinator, but at some point you can only do that so many times to where it's
Mhm.
like, all right, listen, you couldn't do the job.
Like, let's face it, the 49ers have our number, but the 49ers have had everybody's number the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's not like they're just beating the Cowboys. I
Mhm.
I just think, look, the guy's won 36 games in 3 years.
Another interesting thing about the Cowboys is if you lose a lot of those free agents, you also have Dan Quinn, who has drawn so much interest. He's got
He's
interview
gone.
requests from the Panthers, the Commanders, and the Chargers.
And Will McClay, our GM, assistant GM, whatever you want to
So
call him.
Dallas might be a very interesting story this offseason. You also have Kellen
Absolutely.
Moore, who is going to be interviewing for the head coaching job of the Chargers. That'd be
He's not
interesting.
getting it.
I don't think he'll get it. I mean, his first year as the offensive coordinator, the offense averaged 329 yards per game. The year before, when he wasn't there, they were averaging 360 yards. So, I mean, not much has changed. Honestly, dropped a little bit. But
Look,
Herbert's been injured. Herbert's been injured.
I honestly wouldn't want to be a head coach. They get so much. They get so much disrespect. You know what I mean?
Well, they do.
And
It's
just like
because they're the person to blame.
Sirianni is a good coach. They had a great team. They started out 10-1, and you're calling for his head already in Philadelphia.
That's Philly fans for you, though.
I know. I'm just saying, but that's insane. The guy,
I know.
he can't help but they went 10-1, and the team fell off.
I know. I know.
You got to start holding these players who get all the money accountable.
Yeah. So what's interesting is Mike Vrabel gets fired. He's had four consecutive playoff appearances or something like that before this year. You have Dennis Allen, who had his first winning season this year with the Saints. A lot of people do not believe Dennis Allen's going to get fired. I don't think it is too. Honestly, the rumors that are coming out of New Orleans right now, it seems like they're trying to lose more fans because it almost seems like they're trying to keep Pete Carmichael, our offensive coordinator. And now there's mutual interest with them and Gruden to bring Gruden on board. And
Dude,
what's
I'd be hitting
interesting?
that coach up from Washington.
What's interesting? Yes, what's interesting is Gruden. Like it's intriguing, but you have a guy who's suing the NFL. You have a guy who his email was read and it was very racist and homophobic. So you're gonna have a divided locker room. Let's be real.
Dude,
So it's like,
I honestly,
why do you bring someone in to ruin the culture of your team?
if I'm the GM right
Yeah.
now, I'm looking at these college coaches, man. That University of Washington coach, bring him
Yeah,
in.
dude. I
I
know.
mean, he only
I
has
know.
what? They had the longest win streak in college football, 24 games. Michigan snapped that last night.
Bring something fresh in.
I would be all over that.
Here's
New
something.
face college kids.
Here's something interesting with New Orleans too. I was listening to Ross Jackson today, and he was talking about how they believe that the New Orleans Saints are going to try and move in this new culture direction where there's certain players that have been there before Dennis Allen that they're kind of seen as a problem. For instance, Marshawn Lattimore, one of the league's best cornerbacks, they turned his contract into a sign-in bonus last week. So there's speculation that maybe he gets traded. A lot of people say no, that they're going to keep him. But they're saying people like him, Michael Thomas, they might move on from because you have such a young defense, such young, you look at veterans like Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, and Derek Carr. They're very positive when they talk. And then you have some of these veterans on the down low who aren't necessarily agreeing with the coaches and kind of, I don't know, spilling bad blood.
Jameis.
So no, Jameis, I've heard, is actually an amazing teammate.
Not listening to coaches.
Cam Jordan said he's going to come back for another year. He said, I can't retire yet.
Dude, but look at all these receivers that you could pick up anywhere now. I mean, look at Tank Dell, a rookie that came in and dominated the league and helped Houston get to where they're at until he got hurt.
Listen, I said the other day, I don't know if I would only bring Michael Thomas back if it was on the veterans minimum, because if you watch that Saints game on Sunday, A.T. Perry, who was a first or fifth round draft pick, he had a touchdown. He's been good this last second half when they elevated him to the active roster. Rashid Shaheed, first time being a Pro Bowl this year, his second year in the league, another touchdown. Chris Olave, like those three guys, like they're great together. And I just don't see why, if you have a veteran who can't stay healthy and necessarily isn't bringing a good morale in the locker room, why you need him. I'm gonna give my little spiel right here for the Saints season this year as a Saints fan. Saints season obviously has been an up and down. New quarterback with a new coach. And a lot of people not affiliated with the Saints, outside the Saints, said if the past 5 games, you could tell Derek looks a little bit more healthy. He took a lot of big hits in the beginning of the year. Offensive line took a while to figure out how to even block somebody. The last 5 games of the season gives me a little hope that I hope that this is what we could get next year. Derek looked like he felt a little more comfortable in the
Mhm.
offense, and the defense played just so amazing. And they're young. They're young guys besides guys like Tamario Davis and Cam Jordan. Um, so that I don't necessarily mind Dennis Allen coming back. I hope we bring in another offensive coordinator. I hope we don't just keep Pete around with Gruden. There's just a lot of talent on this roster, and I know our schedule is not going to be super easy next year. We play a lot of tough teams next year, but I would love to see the Derek Carr that we had the last 5 games of the year, because that offense looked good. And Dennis Allen said it perfect. Like, even when Drew Brees was here, we had seasons of 7-9, 7-9, 7-9, and we got out of those routes. And we got into winning 11 games, 13 games. And I hope that these past 3 years that I've struggled being a Saints fan will lead to a greener grass on the other side.
Mhm.
But sucks not making playoffs. Hey, we finished above 500 in the past 3 years for the first time this year, so that's nice. It's a start. It's a start. This offseason will be interesting because we are in cap hell again, but our gurus are already working on it. We've already dropped
Negative 86 mil.
Hey, we've already dropped though, turning Marshawn Lattimore's contract into a sign-in bonus.
Yeah, a big round of applause for the NFC South. It's the first time in a long time we have a team over 500.
Two
going to the
teams
playoffs.
over 500, and
Yeah,
one of
it's
them's
about
going to the
time.
playoffs.
About
And
time.
yeah, man. Honestly, the Panthers are the laughing stock of that division. They were just absolutely garbage, and Bryce Young might be a huge bust if they don't do
Dude,
anything with him next
real
year.
quick, Ace, before you give your hot take about your team. As far
Mhm.
as the Panthers go, they have no first round pick. 3 of their best players are free agents. They need receiver and O-line overhaul. They fired their
Mhm.
head coach and their GM. Who wants to go there?
Nobody, man.
No.
The only way I'm going there
Nobody.
is, if I'm going there, I'm taking my defense coordinator or my offense coordinator with me, and I'm gonna draft my quarterback. I actually got to roll with Bryce Young, I guess, for now.
Mhm.
Maybe Bryce Young turns out well with a good coach. I don't know. Um, that it's an interesting situation there. I'd give
They're
the
the new
Saints,
Detroit Lions.
dude. Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah,
give the
with that
Saints.
owner.
I'd probably give the Saints season a C plus, borderline B minus. Definitely not an
God,
A.
and I was so far off on them. I had them at 14
We
and
all
3.
are. We walked through that schedule, easiest schedule in
Yep.
the NFL, and said if they don't get 10 wins, it's a disappointing season. We got 9 wins. Obviously, a disappointing season, but
Well,
I think they figured it out too late. I wish they would have figured it out, a quarter way through the season rather than halfway through. But Ace, how do you feel about the Vikings? What do you think is going to happen with the QB situation? And what would you just grade the season? Obviously, it sucks because your quarterback gets injured. It's hard to grade your season off that, but let's hear it.
finished third in the division, 7-10. We were hoping for the Bears to upset the Packers because I think we would have been able to slide into that last spot in the division, which would have been a weaker schedule next year. So that would have helped. Um,
Would also
God, where?
let me slide in the playoffs. Freaking Bears.
Well, yeah, we were. So our draft position moved
We
up
would
though
have
too
played. We would
because
have
the
played
Raiders.
Dallas.
So the Raiders and the Jets are both won. So our draft position, I think, moved up a couple spots because of those wins, thankfully. So that helps the Vikings. I don't.
What
We're
pick
kind
do
of
you
like
have?
the
Do you know off
Saints.
the top of your head?
11, I think.
It was 10 or 11, yeah, something like
Let me
that.
let me ask you this real quick.
They have Bo Nix going there.
Let me ask something real
No,
quick. The latest mock, first off, the latest mock draft I saw on Bleacher Report was absolute trash. You're in 11. I don't know how many teams above you need a quarterback, but there's a lot of QBs in this draft. If say like a Jaden Daniels or a Bo Nix is right there, or even the guy from Washington, which I don't think will be. Would you, as a fan, be sitting there on draft night like, oh my gosh, right there he is? Do you draft a QB or do you bring Kurt back?
here, Kirk. This is my proclamation to you. Come back to retire with the Vikings. I don't take a hometown discount. Don't take a hometown discount. I don't care.
Draft
Just
offensive line, wide receiver.
retire with the Vikings. I think it's been proven this year that with O'Connell as the head coach, he's calling up some amazing plays for that offense. I trust offensively. I don't know if we're going to keep Flores. Kirk, do what you can. Stick with the Vikings. We
I
all
think
love
you
you.
have
But
to.
retire.
I think you have
Yep.
to go
And
draft
then,
an offensive lineman or another defensive lineman and build around Kurt because Kurt's still young. He's not like he's
but
super old.
We don't.
you gotta pay Kurt and JJ.
I know that's the problem, and it's like because I was talking to Rudy about this too. We got to play Kirk. Daniil Hunter's or essentially we signed him to a 1-year deal last year. There's a lot of positions.
Hey,
Obviously,
maybe
and
Kurt takes the discount and they sign JJ. I mean,
I
He doesn't
really
need the
hope he
money.
does.
JJ thrives with Kurt. I mean, you've seen it. Kurt,
when he's accurate.
statistically, Kurt was an amazing quarterback this year until he got injured.
And I think
all his contracts have been guaranteed. He's set for life. You know, he can take a
really
hometown
is.
discount, Tom Brady
yes.
deal.
I really hope for that. And that's so tied to your point. I don't think we need to feel pressured to draft a quarterback now. We don't have to do like the freaking throw out Rodgers like they did with
maybe
Jordan
even
Love.
draft one in the 4th round or
but-
something.
Yeah, correct. I could see something like that. But if we have the chance, let's just say we're kind of like the Saints, where we're always going to be around 500. It seems like we're never really going to have a 2-15 season.
Until you figure it out, yeah.
If we have a top 10 pick now, I wouldn't mind even trading that thing, seeing what we can do to move up. Yeah, either move up move up top 5 or move down and just take an offensive lineman or best defensive. Get the guy who's number 55 for Michigan, the defensive
Graham.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. He's not coming out yet.
Yeah, he's not coming out. But I'm looking at this now. Depending on what the Bears do at 1, I only see like 2 possible teams take a quarterback. Even though some of them have the first top 3 teams taking quarterbacks, I see the Commanders taking one. Arizona, I'm not sure. New England,
no, Arizona won't. So. Arizona won't.
New
England should. I don't know why New England wouldn't.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Washington, New England, and then you go down the list. The Giants just paid Jones.
They have a big
Tennessee
decision
Titans
to make.
Just got Levis. The Atlanta Falcons might be the only one at 8 that might take a quarterback.
Tell me how the latest Bleacher Report mock draft had the Atlanta Falcons draft an offensive lineman. You have no QB. Why would they not draft a quarterback in the top 10?
Well, maybe it's because they think they need an offensive lineman to make their quarterback better.
Gosh, their quarterbacks. Ritter is not an NFL QB, and Heineke is an amazing backup.
All I know is Dallas will be picking 32nd after we win the Super Bowl.
30. Based off injuries, I'm gonna say this was a B- B- season. I thought the defense for most of the year until kind of last handful of games, it really didn't seem like they had much mojo to play, unfortunately. But I thought overall the team B-. Injuries obviously kind of derailed the offense.
I like that.
If we can bring B-Flow back, it's going to be hard, obviously, as a D coordinator, or even bring an assistant up from his staff or somebody already on the team. I don't know, but I like what we have moving forward next year.
Hopefully next year we won't be given this speech yet. He will, and we'll be given our speech when our team wins the Super Bowl. But guys, let's dive. We are about to hit our first week of wildcard football. Like, how insane is that? Like, this season has gone. I mean, baseball is right around the corner. I mean, how insane is that? Listen to this first game. We're going to go into our picks right now. Listen to this first game. And I don't know who to pick here because I love both these teams. I want both these teams to win.
I filled out my bracket today. I'm ready.
You have the Cleveland Browns playing the Houston Texans in Houston. The Browns are the favorite. It's a Saturday game at 4:30. I would love nothing more than a Joe Flacco Super Bowl. He wins it, retires, and then they're stuck with Watson. But
I love that.
I love that too. You have the Texans who have CJ Stroud, who obviously I think is going to be the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. I mean, you saw how valuable he was when he didn't play compared to when he came back in and played. Jags blew it, man.
Choke artist.
Choked so hard. I mean, what was the point of coming back to that game? Listen, you have the Browns and Texans. This is going to be, I mean, Houston's probably going to be electric. The dog pound is probably going to travel. It's Houston's first playoff game in 5 years? I don't know. Who are we taking here? I can't be the one to make the first
Houston,
pick.
Baby.
I can't be the one to make the first pick. I'm rooting for Joe Flacco to throw another 3 touchdowns and 300 passing yards. But I think I agree with you, Dad. I would love to see Houston go far, too.
CJ Stroud is the last quarterback.
Brown.
CJ Stroud is the third quarterback in the last 50 seasons to lead the NFL in passing yards per game and TD interception ratio, along with Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
How crazy is that, too? Because he's a rookie. He's a rookie,
He's a stud.
Man. That's the difference between him and another rookie quarterback like Bryce Young. Like you got to come in and just own it. Got to do it. You got to do it.
Houston, baby. I think that stadium's going to be so pumped up. It's going to have the vibe of Michigan winning the championship there.
Yeah. I think Houston's both these teams have good defenses, but I think Houston, their offense is a little better. I think CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Big game,
Pick your coach of the year this year now. That's going to be so tough.
Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, but you also have a guy that just took his team who only had 2 wins last year to the championship in their division.
I know, dude, but I don't know. I just think the diversity that Kevin had to go through with your starting quarterback goes out. You don't even know if Watson. Dude, they played 4 different quarterbacks and they're still going to the playoffs. And they had a
Dude.
great record.
And you know what's crazy? Jacksonville was 8-3. They were advertising playoff tickets.
I know.
And they ended up losing what they went 1-6 the rest of the way, whatever it works out
Yeah,
to.
dude, it's
And
terrible.
they got eliminated on the last game of the year. They led the freaking division all season long.
So we have Ace taking the Browns. We're taking the Texans. This next game's interesting because it said this on Peacock, so that's a little strange. It's the Saturday 8 o'clock game, and I don't know who to root for here either. You know,
dude, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna screw all these people out of watching sports on regular TV. You're gonna have to get apps.
You got the Dolphins playing the Chiefs. Dolphins just lost a huge game against the Bills, and you have the Chiefs who, you know what? I know who I'm gonna pick in this game. I'm telling you,
baby.
I think the Dolphins are going to go in and they're going to win on the road. Kansas City has not been effective at home this year.
The problem with Miami though is they have the worst for all the playoff teams. They have the worst road differential for scoring. They're negative 91 on the road.
That's the thing, man. Like,
and they're beat up defensively.
Does Tua struggle on the road? Does it get to him, or does he just go out there and start throwing bombs to Tyreek?
They're going to have Tyreek and Waddle back, and their running game is amazing. The Chiefs can't stop the run.
I'm taking the Dolphins. Mahomes is going to go home early this year.
I really want to take the Dolphins, but something's telling me to take the Chiefs.
Come on,
just because of that banged up Dolphins. Dolphins actually, their defense.
Travis
played well
Kelce having the worst year of his life. You know, the wide receivers have over 40 drops this year.
But what did I tell you guys way back when we made our first projections? Kansas City is going to be horrible because they're going to double team Kelce because they have no receivers.
Okay. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs. I don't like this pick at all. I just think the Dolphins are on a complete slide. They could have hosted a playoff game, and now they're going on the road to Kansas City.
Hey, who wins this story here? Sunday 1 o'clock. Mason Rudolph. What is he? 3-0. Takes the Steelers in the playoffs. They're playing the Bills, who the Bills are hot. You're in Bills Mafia. Does Mason
Buffalo Bills?
What's the spread on this
Does
game?
Mason Rudolph have another charm up him? Does he win this game?
TJ Watt's out to at least the second or third round. No Watt. There's no pass rush.
Hey, I'm taking a hot pick here. I'm cashing in. It's nice, hot, and crisp right now. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers, beating the Bills. Bills are going to go home. They're going to fire their head coach, and they're going to be looking for a new head coach this offseason.
No way.
Stephon Diggs is going to ask for a trade. You're going to have a lot of drama.
Dude, the Bills are going to run for 200 yards on them. They're going to run all over. And the weather on the East Coast is going to be so horrible over there.
Remember this pick.
Remember this
pick.
You remember Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl.
I got to pick the Bills, too. If Allen loses to I know it's not quarterback versus quarterback, but come on.
Come on now. Come on now.
I like that pick, Ty.
Here's a big one. Here it is, Dad. They got your number.
Lions?
History wise, they've got. I remember going to that football banquet with you. Packers and Dallas. I remember when Des Bryant dropped that ball.
Is it different this year?
We had the Packers.
Dallas puts 40 on them.
We have Dallas going into. I mean, with the Green Bay Packers going into Dallas, 4:30 on Sunday.
Jordan Love first.
Is Jordan Love gonna pull magic? Is he gonna do it? Ace, you look like you want to take Green Bay. You look like you want to take Green Bay.
I got to side with the Cowboys. The Packers defense that's been a mirage. They beat a terrible Bears team, and I don't even know. The defense has been decent the last handful of games, but the Cowboys should be unbeatable. I don't know how you stop CeeDee Lamb.
I'm taking Dallas. Dallas should run this up. But if Dallas loses to Green Bay, Mike McCarthy's gone.
Let me give you some stats real quick before I make my pick. The Cowboys are 16-0 at home with a 173 point differential. Okay, they've won. The last time they did that, they won 18 in the 70s. Dak Prescott has 4 games this year over 80% completion rating. Okay, he's gonna be 5. It's gonna be 5. Okay, Dak is the first quarterback since 1946 to lead the league in interceptions. They come back the following year and lead the league in touchdown passes. This is the first game in NFL history that the number 1 quarterback throwing touchdowns and the number 2 quarterback, Love, that lead the league in touchdown passes are facing each other in the first round of the playoffs. He's not going to throw a touchdown in that game. Dak and the Cowboys are going to roll by 21 points in this game. They're going to put a 40 burger on them.
Oh, man. Only touchdown that Jordan Love's going to be throwing is a pick 6. Hey, how about a round of applause?
10 is the final.
Round of applause for Jordan Love, though. All the hate he got this year. Yeah. Great stats, going to the playoffs.
Yeah, he looked good.
Man, Dallas Cowboys.
Boy, I
And
got so many
Packers.
stats on the Cowboys right now. Mr. MVP Dak Prescott.
I wanted to say something, man. I can't remember.
I know
All
the
right,
MVP threw you off.
we're all taking the Dallas Cowboys here.
Mhm.
8-15 game. Dude, there's a lot of big, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like drama-filled games. Matthew
Oh,
Stafford
yeah.
going back to
Oh.
Detroit. not Jordan Love. Gosh, you guys. Jared Goff is at home hosting the team that traded him, that kicked him down, said you're going to go rot there in Detroit. I hope Detroit puts 30 points up on the Rams. I do. I know the Rams are hot. I know, like, I'm saying I want it. I don't know if it will happen, but I want
It's not gonna.
I'm picking Detroit. Detroit, you know how loud that stadium is going to be the first time they've been in the playoffs
Yeah,
in how long?
until after kickoff, it's not gonna be.
Listen, Calvin Johnson's going to be there.
The weakness on the Detroit Lions is the same thing we talked about last year. Is their defense? You know, CeeDee Lamb went off on them. Could you imagine what Puka Nacuna and freaking Cooper Kupp are going to do on him?
Yeah, Stafford's gonna have a day.
Plus the running game, that Williams guy, whatever his name is, they have. Come on, no way. The Rams are going to win that.
I'm taking Lions. I'm taking Lions.
So
The first playoff game in 30 years.
I think the heavily betted teams this weekend are the Bills over the Steelers and the Rams over the Lions, I believe. And then obviously you could probably throw the Cowboys in, but I think in terms of like maybe closer type matchups, I guess.
Ace, I'm taking Lions. Who you taking? Mail it in right now. Cash it in right now. I want you to fold it. I want you to
This is a great
rub it in.
Lions.
All
Lions,
day.
baby.
All
Go
day.
Pride. Go
All day.
Rams.
All day.
It's the Lions' first home playoff game in 30 years, and Stafford's going to come in there and he's going to destroy it. That crowd's going to be quiet. It's over.
I'm gonna hit you guys another one right here. Right, I have off this Monday. Maybe I'll go to this game.
So do I.
Eagles are going into Tampa. Jalen Hurts just hurt his finger. Eagles are struggling right now.
AJ Brown's hurt.
Eagles are struggling. Baker Mayfield's out there. And he's like, you know what? Everyone doubted me. I've been the laughingstock of this league. Eagles are going to go in there, and they're not even going to know what happened. They're going to lose. Buccaneers are going to come out on top. They're going to show that the NFC South still has fight in them. Baker Mayfield's going to get a contract extension this offseason. I don't know if he's going to take him to the Super Bowl, but he's going to beat the Eagles, and everyone's going to be shocked. I'm cashing it in right there. Buccaneers are winning this game.
Something's weird about this line. It's moved up to -3 for the Eagles.
Yep.
I don't know why. And I hate to do this because I really
Vegas
want Tampa to win
knows
too.
something.
Yep, I got to pick the Eagles.
Sad pick, Ace. Come on,
played like
look at my eyes.
but-
Ace, look at my eyes. You see these? You know the picks that I made this offseason? Not this offseason. During this season.
Well, you said the Steelers. That
is hot.
Yeah. That's like concussion hot. You need to go to concussion protocol.
It's snowing. It's snowing in PA. They're not used to the warm weather. They're gonna come down here. It's gonna be muggy. They're gonna be short on breath.
Honestly, my biggest concern is that Tampa Bay only put 9 points up against Carolina.
Yeah,
that's my biggest concern.
I'll be honest.
I mean, the Eagles don't have a secondary, so Baker could probably have his best playoff game ever. The Eagles are a mess. I mean, they hate their coach.
Imagine Baker is throwing like 3 touchdowns, and he does that little run down the sideline. Just
what's AJ Brown's status? Smith has another one. He's got a high ankle sprain.
How's Jalen? It's a throwing hand that he hurt his finger on.
Yeah, Jalen's, is he going to be able to grip a ball right? Swift was out with an injury. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah,
Tampa
let's
Bay.
go. I don't know why
Tampa
I'm
Bay.
cheering.
The Eagles ended season 1-7 or whatever the hell.
Wow, what a year for the Eagles.
I like that pick.
We're predicting all right. Eagles are going to lose, and then everyone's going to be like, fire our coach, fire, get rid of Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Guys, that is week 1, not week 1. That is the wild card round. You could bet on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with my bets. I'm pretty good with my hot takes.
I honestly think the hardest game to pick of all of them was that last one we just did, Philly and Tampa Bay, because they both suck.
Listen, I feel really good about that Steelers one.
I think you got to bet the over on the Rams Lions. That just seems like it's going to be a.
I'm going to put $100 down on the Steelers winning. And when you guys see that 400,000,
parlay that with the Bucks.
When you guys see that
money for
when you guys see that 400,000 cash in, I ain't even going to talk to you guys.
Look, I'm telling you right now, the NFL, they want to make this right. They got to do away with division winners. They just got to do 2 conferences, and they got to rank them as
Just like
where they
college football.
stand.
Just
Yeah,
like college
they got to
football.
do it because, look, as bad as the Eagles are,
Well, you
I
can
don't
still
think
have
they
divisions.
belong that low.
Just have rankings
No, they
like
can have
college.
divisions, yeah, but division winners aren't guaranteed a playoff spot. It goes by your
Yeah.
win total.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. That's the way you're going to get your best team.
Yeah.
Because there's no way Tampa Bay should get a home game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, with the
I
way
don't
the
agree
Eagles
with
have
it.
been playing, I mean,
I don't agree with it.
it is what it is. Don't hate on it. Just
It
it
is,
is
yeah.
what it is. You know.
You know what's
They
going to
had the
happen soon
division.
enough.
Dallas was 7-9, and they won their division. You'd be like, oh yeah, baby, I got my own.
You watch, you mark my word, they're going to throw one of these playoff games overseas in the next couple of years.
That'd be dumb.
It would be. You're right.
That'd be dumb.
That's not a bad take. I think once they come up with the division over there, yeah, I can certainly see that. But that would be crazy.
Well, I got some homemade ice cream sandwiches waiting for me right now. I just got the text message.
I got dinner.
homemade.
And if you, yeah.
Oh,
And if
that's
y'all want to play some money down these bets, I feel pretty confident. I don't know about Aces. His are a little shaky, but
And
hey,
bet Jim Harbaugh to the NFL.
yeah. Listen, that's episode 196 in the books. I felt really good about this episode. Michigan, huge shout out to the Wolverines, baby. Oh, Ohio State, screw you guys.
Yeah,
Screw you guys.
stepbrother. The
Give me
little
that,
stepbrother.
I'll give you that one finger wave while I pass by you. Hey, we hope you all have a great night. We love you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.